Hi, I'm Kelly Peterson. Today I'm gonna cook an egg frittata, and what I have here is some chopped meat, which is pork chop. We grill some pork chop usually at dinner, and I would usually prepare a portion more, and I can chop it up into cubes like that and use it for egg frittata. So the good thing about egg frittata is that you can use any kind of meat or fish or just vegetable that you have left over from your previous dinner or previous meal, and you can really make a good egg frittata from all the leftovers. You can also use raw meat, of course, any kind of meat, any kind of ingredients that you like. So what I have today here is some leftover pork chop, and I'm gonna add some ingredients and make it a really good egg frittata for brunch or for breakfast. First, I'll add some butter. This is about 2 tablespoons of butter in a heated pan, and let it melt. And then I'm gonna add the cooked meat. And if you're using raw meat, then of course you're gonna put the raw meat into the pan and cook it till it's like almost cooked before you add the rest of the ingredient that didn't need too much cooking. So I'm gonna add both the onion and, oh, the pan is hot. So I'm gonna add both the onion. This is about quarter cup, a little more than quarter cup of red onion for flavor. Stir it a little bit in there. And because this is cooked meat, so I'm gonna add it in almost at the same time with the onion. Otherwise, if you're using raw meat, you wanna cook the raw meat first. The meat is about probably 1 cup of, about 1 cup of the pork chop that's cut into cubes. And it is from this whole piece of pork chop that I have cooked an extra piece for cooking frittata. All you need to do is just cut it into cubes like this and put it in. So it's easy, it's quick. The only time you need actually is let it simmer later, which I'll show you. That you will let it cook slowly after you add the eggs, and it will fluff up and firm up really nicely. So here we are stirring and cooking some meat here. And even though when the meat has actually been flavored with salt and pepper and some, what did I put in there? It was some herb de Provence on the meat. And I like to add a little bit of flavor, which usually my favorite is Italian seasoning, which is a combination of herb, thyme, rosemary, and so it's dry herb. A little bit more flavor to the egg. A few pinches, just estimate, and then a little bit of salt in it. A little bit of pepper, and stir it together. My preference of cooking this dish is using butter because butter makes it taste so much better all the time. And you can always use coconut oil, you can use bacon grease, any kind of the fat is good except vegetable oil. We don't want to use vegetable oil. Very fast, and while the meat is cooking, you can actually beat up the eggs. I have 6 eggs, fresh, organic, cage-free eggs, or any kind of egg that you can get. There's fresh chicken egg. You just beat it up, whisk it up. I like to add a little bit of heavy cream This will make the egg more creamier and it will fluff up because heavy cream do give the texture to the egg very well. And just whisk it around, and while the meat is kind of cooking a little bit here. Oh, there's one more ingredient I usually love to put it in. So before I pour this egg into the pan, I like to add just about a tablespoon of, this is tomato, sun-dried tomato. I like to add a tablespoon of sun-dried tomato, which is in olive oil. So I use some of the oil that is from the sun-dried tomato. Sun-dried tomato is my favorite to add to the frittata, just to give a little bit of flavor, a little bit of kind of a smoky flavor, because the tomato is being sun-dried or oven-dried and then soaked in olive oil for a long time. I'm looking forward to do my own sun-dried tomato the next round. In summer, I might get a lot more tomato, and I can do that. This one, I bought it from the store in a can. You can look for those that is soaked in olive oil and no sugar added, just sun-dried tomato and olive oil, and use them as well. Just a tablespoon, it will add a really nice flavor to the whole frittata. So now I can turn up the heat a little bit while I put the eggs into the pan. Actually, the more you whisk it, the more air you get into the egg, the fluffier it's gonna be. So we whisk it to mix it together like this. That's good enough. And let's pour it into the pan. Don't want to waste any drop of the eggs here. Yum. Alright, put this away. And this is about all that we are doing cooking here. And the rest of the work, dress it up. Let's dress it up and give it a little bit of color, a little bit more flavor. I like to add a little pinch of salt on top. You can add it later if you want to be sure. You can add it later while you eat. Then a little bit of black pepper on top. And I like to dress it up a little bit with color. So what I have here is parsley. Parsley, I'll give a little pinch of it. Ah, my finger stuck in here. A little bit of green color around it. And a little bit of paprika. Paprika gives it a really nice bright red color on the top of the egg. As you can see, it's brightened up with the paprika. And then we could add some cheese on top. What I have here is Parmesan cheese. As much as you want. I have about 3 pinches here, and I have some grated white cheddar. And white cheddar actually gives a nice flavor to the egg, and it will all kind of melt into the egg when you let it simmer slowly over here. As much as you like to, I like a lot of cheese, so I can tolerate cheese a lot, and so I'm gonna use up all the remaining here. Alright, what's the amount in this container? About half a cup that I use in this pan. And this pan is about 9 inches diameter with 6 eggs and about a cup of chopped pork chop and about a quarter of chopped onion, and you just estimate your ingredient like this in however amount that you want to make. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cover it with a lid. There is two choices that you can actually let this cook. You can first preheat your oven to about 350, and with a cast iron pan I can actually stick it into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, or I can let it slowly cook on the stove like this for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then the eggs will fluff up and will be really soft and a little bit spongy and tasty. So we're gonna leave the pan here for about 15 minutes and we'll come back soon. Here we are. The eggs has been cooking for the less than 15 minutes, so pretty good. It was on low medium heat depending on your stove, how high is your heat on the stove. I put it on a little bit higher than low, and it's been just slowly cooking and about 12 minutes now, and it's all fluffed up. How you want to check the egg if it's cooked? Just hold the pan, shake it a little bit, and if the center of the eggs is not wobbly, it's cooked. So this is pretty good. See, it's not wobbly and it's all fluffed up nicely. Let's try. And this is ready. It's ready to serve. So what you do is just loosen the edge here around it. You can see the edge is a little brown, and it's ready to go. It smells good. So let's cut. Let's cut a piece and try it. Let's show you how it looks like. All right, you can cut it with this spatula and lift it up, and use a fork to help lifting it up. Put it on a plate. Yum. It smells so good. All right, so you can see that's the egg frittata. Let me give it a try. It's hot. As good as usual. And the side here is brown, so it's a little crispy. Try it. Use any kind of leftover ingredient. You can cook a really good frittata like this in less than 30 minutes. A nice meal. The rest of it, you can cut it into wedges and keep it for the next meal. So, cook once and eat 2 or 3 times. I hope you enjoyed it. See you later.